welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my book haul for this month, and I'm going to be sitting down because I think this is going to be quite a long one. So I have like a ton of books this month, mainly because I found out that they have like used book sales on Instagram and stuff that I wasn't aware of. So I bought a lot of books. I also got a lot of comics. I'm probably not going to include the comics in this haul because there are so many. If you want to see a comic book haul, let me know in the comments below and I'll put something together for that. But for right now, we're just going to focus on the books that I bought this month. So the first book that I bought is The Death Code by Lindsay Cummings, and this is the sequel to The Murder Complex. I really enjoyed The Murder Complex, so I really wanted to pick this book up. I kind of don't like the fact that this cover is slightly different from the first book in like the way that it feels. The look of it is pretty much the same, but it's like a different texture for some reason. I'm not really sure. And this book seems to be a little bit thicker than the first one, but I'm very excited to read this book. The next book that I got is Zoe Letting Go by Nora Price. I have never heard anything about this book, but the synopsis sounded pretty intriguing. It's about this girl who is in a mansion populated by different patients, and it says that it's a place for girls with serious problems, skinny, spindly girls who have a penchant for harming themselves. But Zoe isn't like them and she can't figure out why she was sent here. She starts writing letters to a friend and her friend never writes back. That's pretty much all I know about it, but it sounds pretty good and I kind of like psychological things, and this sounds like it might delve into that a little bit, so I'm really excited about this one. The next three books that I got are Christopher Moore books. I'm not like a huge fan of Christopher Moore. I've read one other book by him. I can't remember right now what it was called, but I remember that I didn't like it that much. However, my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, is really into Christopher Moore, and I found these on one of the used bookshops on Instagram. So I decided to pick them up and give them a shot because the titles of these books are just very intriguing to me. The first one is The Lust Lizard of Melancholy Cove, and this cover is absolutely adorable. I love it. The synopsis of these books sound very strange and they're kind of hard for me to remember, so I might just read you a little snippet of each one. This one says it's about a town psychiatrist who has decided to switch everybody in Pine Cove, California from their normal antidepressants to placebos. So naturally, well, to be accurate artificially, business is booming at the local blues bar. Trouble is, those lonely slide guitar notes have also attracted a colossal sea beast named Steve with, shall we say, a thing for explosive oil tanker trucks. What? I don't know. It just sounds weird, but I'm gonna give it a shot and see how I like it. This next book by Christopher Moore I've seen around a lot more, so it's probably more popular and well known to you guys, and it is You Suck, a love story. This one does not really have a synopsis on the back, so I'm not sure what it's about, although I'm pretty sure it involves vampires, so we'll just have to wait and see. And the last one that I got by Christopher Moore is Island of the Sequined Love Nun. I don't know. This one says, take a wonderfully crazed excursion into the demented heart of a tropical paradise, a world of cargo cults, cannibals, mad scientists, ninjas, and talking fruit bats. Sounds interesting, so we'll see. The next one that I got is one that has been on my wish list for quite some time, and it is Hey Nostradamus by Douglas Copeland, and I believe this is a school shooting novel. Yeah, and it's a fiction novel from what I understand, but the little bit of the synopsis says, pregnant and secretly married, Cheryl Anway scribbles what becomes her last will and testament on a school binder shortly before a rampaging trio of misfit classmates gun her down in a school cafeteria. Ugh. It sounds kind of gruesome, but I have been wanting to read this for a while, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. And this edition I really like, and it has this little bookmark ribbon. So, and this was a used copy, and I am thoroughly pleased with this. The next book that I got, which was also used, and in very good condition I must say, is Bag of Bones by Stephen King. I read this book a couple of years ago in the mass market paperback form, and I pretty much destroyed that mass market, so when I saw this come up on the Instagram shop, I decided to grab it immediately because I love this book so much, and I'm very excited to have this really nice hardcover edition of this book. If you haven't read Bag of Bones, I highly recommend it, or you can even check out the mini-series. I can't remember what channel it came on. It's good, but it's a little bit different than the book, obviously, so I definitely prefer the book to that TV mini-series. The next book that I got is Enchanted by Orson Scott Card. I haven't heard very much about this at all. When I saw it on the used bookstore, I was kind of like, I don't know, I've never heard of it, so I kind of looked at the synopsis and it sounded a little bit interesting. I've never read anything by Orson Scott Card, so I kind of need to get on that. And I do have a couple of other books by him. I think Pathfinder is one of them. This one sounds like it has a lot of magical elements in it. I don't really know that much about it, but it is intriguing enough for me to give it a shot, and I must say that I really do enjoy the cover of this book. The next one is not a used book, and this is by Morgan Rhodes. It's called A Book of Spirits and Thieves. This is a new series by Morgan Rhodes. If you guys aren't aware, I have read Falling Kingdoms and Rebel Spring by Morgan Rhodes, and I love those books so much. So when I saw this at my local Walmart, I decided to pick it up. I could not resist. I wasn't even aware that she was coming out with a new series, so this should be very interesting. I don't know what it's about. I don't care what it's about. It's by an author that I really, really love, so I'm definitely looking forward to getting into this one. The next book is also not a used book. I've seen this around BookTube a little bit, and I've also read a book by this author before. It is by Jen Campbell, and it is the Bookshop book, and let's just admire that cover for a minute. I really, really like the cover of this book. She wrote Weird Things Customers Say in Bookshops, and there's a second edition to that as well, but I've only read the first one and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So when I saw this, I was like, I have to have this. Basically, it's just about bookshops in different areas, and there's pictures, and you know, it just has different unique information about different bookstores, I think, around the world. So I'm very, very excited for this one. It seems like something that's right up my alley. Now the remainder of these books are used books. So the first one that I have, and it has a little bookmark in it, is A Wrinkle in Time by Madeline, I don't even know how to say her name, someone help me here. I read this a long time ago in school, but I don't remember it very much, so I decided to snatch this up and give it a shot. It doesn't seem like it would take me very long to get through this, and I'm very excited for it. The next one that I got is The World According to Garp by John Irving, and I believe this is a movie. I've never seen the movie. I haven't heard too much about it. It sounds intriguing, and it has somewhat decent reviews about it, so I wanted to give it a shot and see how I like it. And I have another Orson Scott Card book here, and this one is called The Lost Gate. Again, I haven't heard very much about this book either. This is about a boy named Danny North, and it says that he knew from early childhood that his family was different and that he was different from them. Danny worried that he would never show a talent, never form an out self. And apparently this is an urban fantasy about a clan of mages in exile in our world, living in an uneasy truce with our clans until Danny's birth brings the flames of open war back to life. I don't know. It sounds interesting. I don't think that the reviews on this book were as good as I expected them to be, but again, it's Orson Scott Card and I could not pass this up. The next one is kind of a beast, and this is like an author that I really, really love and have loved since, I don't know, middle school, and that is Edgar Allan Poe, and this is a biography of him, and it is by Arthur Hobson Quinn with a foreword by Sean Rosenheim. I'm kind of intimidated by the size of this. I didn't realize that it was this big, but I am still looking forward to reading it. Edgar Allan Poe has always been pretty fascinating to me, and I don't know too much about him, so it'll be interesting to read through this. Obviously, I won't read this whole thing at one time. I'll probably read snippets of it every now and then, so it's not really a book that I'm going to read from cover to cover, you know, within a month, more than likely. But I'm still excited to read it and learn some more about Edgar Allan Poe. The next one that I got is The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. I have never read this book, ever, and I don't know why I haven't read it, so I decided to grab it and see if I enjoy it. Hopefully some of you guys have read it. I've heard really good things about it, so I'm really excited about reading this. Next one that I got is a little copy of The Little Prince, and this is a very well-known children's book that I have never read. I've only read maybe a few pages or so of it, but it sounds really cute and I really want to read it, so I can't wait to read this one and see exactly what all the hype is about. And this was actually a really cheap edition. Obviously it's not like the nice hardcover edition, but that works just perfectly for me because I don't have children and this is just for me, so I really didn't want to go out and spend like $20 on the nice hardcover edition. The next one that I got on a whim because I'm really into paranormal, supernatural things is the Oxford Book of English Ghost Stories, chosen by Michael Cox and R.A. Gilbert. I couldn't pass this one up. I'm really into ghost stories and things of that nature, and this seems like a kind of like an older book about ghosts. Let me see what the publication date. I think the original publication date might be 1948, but this was reprinted in 1986. It seems like something that I will be very interested in. Of course, I will probably read each story here and there and see how I like it, but I'm looking forward to it, and it really does give off that creepy factor. Oh, I never took off the dust jacket to this, but this is really beautiful underneath the dust jacket. It's kind of like an old type of hardcover, and I really like that. That's very gorgeous in my opinion. I really like that a lot. I would probably enjoy this more if it didn't have a dust jacket, but for the purposes of keeping it in good shape, I will leave the dust jacket on right now. I got Transformations by Anne Sexton, and this is poetry. This is a poetry book. It's interesting to me. I don't know. I can't remember what exactly drew me to this, but it just did. Oh, I think I know why. It's like a reenactment of Grimm's fairy tales. Like, she does her own little spin on Grimm's fairy tales. So I think that's what brought me to purchase this. This book was published in 1971, so it is quite, well, not quite old, but it is a little old. It does have kind of some creepy illustrations going on in there. Here's another one. It seems really cool in my opinion, and it's in pretty good shape. The spine hasn't been broken or anything like that, so definitely looking forward to this. I forgot what this was about, so relearning what it's about is making me more excited to read it. The next book that I got is Alfred Hitchcock in the Making of Psycho by Stephen Rebello, and I just watched Psycho, which I've never seen before, the original, so I really liked that movie. I thought it was really well put together, and I really like the TV show Bates Motel, so that kind of brought me really wanting to watch Psycho, the original film. And when I saw this, I was like, why not? Just kind of learn more about the film and how it was developed, and the stories behind Alfred Hitchcock's ideas seem pretty intriguing to me. The next one that I got, I can't really pronounce the author's last name. It's Nausea by Jean-Paul, I can't pronounce it. It's S-A-R-T-R-E. I'm not really sure. From rereading the back, it kind of seems like a psychological book. It says that Nausea is the story of Antoine something, a French writer who is horrified at his own existence. This is a diary form. He ruthlessly catalogs his every feelings and sensation about the world and people around him. His thoughts culminate in a pervasive, overpowering feeling of nausea which spreads at the bottom of vicious puddle, at the bottom of our time, the time of purple suspenders and broken chair seats. It is made of wide, soft instants spreading at the edge like an oil stain. It's like a satire, I think. I don't know. It seems really different in my opinion, and I've never heard of it. I'm kind of getting out of my comfort zone with books that I've been purchasing lately, and this happens to be one of those, but I'm actually really interested in this book, and knowing the synopsis is making this book more and more appealing to me, so I will definitely be picking this book up very soon. And the next book that I got is The Unbearable Lightness of Being by Milan Kundera. Sure, we'll go with that. I've heard of this book a lot. I don't know what it's about, but I have heard about this book a lot, and I think that it does get a lot of praise. There, I can't see my camera. And I was just very intrigued by this when I saw it, so I decided to pick it up. I don't know anyone else that has read this book, and for some reason I'm thinking that it's a movie, but I could be wrong. The last book that I got is this huge mammoth, and it is Notes from the Underground, and it has The Gambler in it as well. And it is in very good condition. It's got The Gambler on this side, and then if you flip it over, it's got Notes from the Underground on this side. There are some really interesting images in this book. I don't know what this is about. I do know that it's quite an old story, but I'm definitely looking forward to this. It is very intriguing, and it just seems really different. Also something out of my comfort zone, so definitely something I'm very happy with purchasing. So those are all the books that I got. That should be enough. I don't think I missed anything, but you never know, I might have. So to close this up, let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books, and if you have, which one you think I should read first. There are a lot of different genres going on this month, so just let me know what your thoughts are. I would love to hear them, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! It's heavy. Okay. This is the sequel to crap.
Stand up. No, stay.
Basically, it's about bookshops, obviously. Okay, I gotta use both my hands for a second.
Oh.